Hello and welcome to your Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. I'm Vic Faust. 3 stories involving Barack Obama's campaign going after Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin lead us off today. Let's get right to it. Story number 1, the Republican National Committee and John McCain's campaign have called major foul on Barack Obama. They have released a web ad called Lipstick, seeking to exploit the Illinois senator's use of an expression about dressing up a pig with lipstick. Listen to this.
But you can't, you can put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig.
All right, the GOP believes that was a personal attack on Palin, who in her highly rated speech at the Republican National Convention said the only difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom, like her, was lipstick. McCain's campaign have called the comments offensive and disgraceful and said he owes Palin an apology. Obama's campaign said the lipstick on a pig expression wasn't referring to Palin, and the outrage is a pathetic attempt to play the gender card. What do you think? Story number 2. On Tuesday, speaking in Columbia, Missouri, Democratic vice presidential candidate Joe Biden criticized Republicans for not supporting embryonic stem cell research. And although he did not mention Sarah Palin by name, listen to what he said. Quote, "I hear all this talk about how the Republicans are going to work in dealing with parents who have both the joy, because there's joy to it as well, the joy and difficulty of raising a child who has a developmental disability, who were born with a birth defect. Well, guess what, folks? If you care about it, why don't you support stem cell research?" He essentially suggested that these babies and children are defective and need to be repaired in some way. Governor Palin's infant son, Trig, has Down syndrome. And if you ask her or any other parent of a child like Trig, they'll tell you that that child is a perfect gift from God. Now, the McCain-Palin campaign immediately ripped into Biden's remarks, saying that Obama's running mate has sunk to a new low by debating who cares more about special needs children. Story number 3, titled by the Wall Street Journal, "The Hunt for Sarah October," the Democrats have literally airdropped 30 lawyers, investigators, and opposition researchers into Anchorage, the state capital Juneau, and Governor Palin's hometown of Wasilla to try and dig up some dirt on her background and political record. With Palin being a strong force for McCain, taking double-digit leads over Obama in several election polls, you just know the Democrats will not sit still. If online bloggers are any indication, the Obama camp has reason to be worried. Not only has the Palin choice by McCain garnered him substantial net vote increases among white women and Catholics, but it also looks like young Catholics are moving toward the McCain-Palin ticket. A couple of informal, unscientific polls on Catholic blogs are showing a bump of about 15 to 20% among 20-something Catholics in favor of McCain. So far, the Palin pick is proving to be a real showstopper for the Obama team, as women, Catholics, and new younger voters start a trek away from Obama, Biden. All 3 groups are absolutely key to any Obama victory in November. So hold on. You know, this is going to get very ugly very soon. All right, back to the issue of babies with Down syndrome. In an effort to curb the rising abortion rate for babies with Down syndrome, Concerned Women for America, CWA, is teaming up with prominent Down syndrome groups to develop an informational brochure focused on giving hope and help to parents and families of children with Down syndrome. The small brochure, titled "When You've Learned That Your Baby May Have Down Syndrome, There Is Help and Hope," offers encouragement, a positive perspective, and a list of resources and support groups to help families learn more about their baby's opportunities. That, according to Physicians for Life. Now, after discovering their unborn baby has Down syndrome via prenatal screening, nearly 90% of parents abort. The Catholic Church in Mexico City has consecrated a special area of a cemetery for the remains of aborted babies following a Supreme Court ruling making abortion legal in that city. The sanctuary, which will include a chapel as well as a burial site, is the option that we are offering to give hope and a way out for those people who have committed an act without considering the consequences. That said by the rector of the city's Old Basilica de Guadalupe, Agustin Rivera. Those who participate in abortions are automatically excommunicated from the Catholic Church, although they can be reconciled through confession and penance. The American Civil Liberties Union, which has a long history of promoting the homosexual movement, has now taken up arms against the family by donating $1.2 million to defeat California's Proposition 8 this November. Proposition 8 would reverse the California State Supreme Court's May 15th ruling that gave homosexuals the right to marry. Now, 8 years ago, 61% of Californians voted down so-called gay marriage. But that didn't stand in the way of the California Supreme Court that declared it a fundamental right. The ACLU is well known for its support for causes which are repugnant even to many social moderates, such as its backing of a move to provide privacy to gay men wanting to have sex in public bathrooms. Pope Benedict visits France this week in a bid to push back anti-clericalism and revive Catholicism in one of the world's most secular countries. The 4-day tour starting on Friday will wrap up with a papal mass at Lourdes to mark the 150th anniversary of the apparition of the Virgin Mary to a 14-year-old girl named Bernadette Soubirous. The visit comes during mounting Vatican concerns about falling numbers of faithful in a country that once was a Catholic bastion, a decline the Pope links to France's hard-edged secularism. On Friday, the 81-year-old Pope is scheduled to make a speech in Paris to guests from France's cultural scene, when he is expected to pound out the message that loss of faith leads to national regression. That does it for us today. I'm Vic Faust. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and come back tomorrow for your daily dose of the Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure and check out The Vortex, where Michael Vorse takes a look at how Barack Obama keeps accidentally saying what he really means. For now, God bless, and thanks for tuning in to RealCatholicTV.com.